Listen, we thought we already knew Meghan Markle's story, right? The Hollywood actress who charmed a prince, the royal rebel who ditched the palace gates, and the California dreamer who built a new life far away from Buckingham Palace. But honey, what if I told you that story didn't start where we think it did? What if behind all the tiaras, the interviews, the Netflix cameras, there's a hidden chapter? One buried not by gossip but by law itself. Because deep in the dusty archives, where records are sealed and dates are erased, one name kept whispering back at investigators. Rachel Meghan Markle, listed as the mother of a child born in California 28 years ago. A daughter the world has never seen. A daughter the palace never acknowledged. A daughter whose entire existence was buried under layers of silence. If that document is real, then buckle up, because everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle, her rise, her family, her carefully polished image, it all begins to unravel like cheap fabric. And let's be honest, you don't just erase a birth certificate unless you have something very powerful to hide. So tonight, instead of walking you through Buckingham Palace, we're opening a door in Sacramento, California, a door that might lead straight to the truth about Meghan Markle's secret 28-year-old daughter. It began as an ordinary request. Someone filed paperwork with the California Department of Public Health asking for the birth record of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. The daughter Meghan and Harry said was born on June 4, 2021 in Santa Barbara. Straightforward, right? But the reply that came back wasn't just unusual, it was a red flag waving like crazy. After checks, cross-references, and multiple follow-ups, the department confirmed that no record exists under that name. Not for that date, not even under Meghan's official legal identity, Rachel Meghan Markle. Now, if this were anyone else, maybe you'd shrug it off as a clerical mistake. But this isn't just any baby we're talking about. This is a royal heir, seventh in line to the British throne. Every missing piece of paper suddenly matters. And here, the system said, Lilibet Diana doesn't exist on paper. That discovery alone was enough to raise eyebrows. But what came next? Oh, it changed everything. Because when sources dug deeper, searching for any birth record tied to Meghan's legal name, what they found didn't lead to 2021. It didn't lead to Santa Barbara. It led straight to 1997. An email confirmation came, short, stamped, and dated from the California State Department. The message? Rachel Meghan Markle had given birth in 1997 in California, period. But here's the kicker. Every single detail, the baby's name, gender, hospital, doctor, was sealed by court order, confidential, untouchable. And just to add more fuel to this fire, that letter confirmed there were no other birth records under her name. Not in 2019, not in 2021, nothing. The only childbirth officially tied to Meghan Markle's name is the one from 1997. But hold on to your seat, because the timing of what happened next is where the plot thickens like a soap opera finale. That mysterious 1997 file? It was sealed in December 2018, just months before Meghan and Harry introduced baby Archie to the world. Coincidence? Please. This wasn't random. December 2018 was a fairy tale month for Meghan Markle. Newly married, glowing in royal headlines, preparing for her first Christmas as a duchess. But while the cameras captured twinkling lights and royal smiles, something else was happening quietly in a California courthouse. That decades-old 1997 record was suddenly locked down. Restricted access, sealed tighter than the crown jewels. And no, this wasn't routine data cleanup. This wasn't a batch privacy update. It was one file, one case, one very deliberate decision. And that decision just happened to come right before Meghan stepped into royal motherhood, right before Archie's big reveal, right before the world crowned her as not just an actress turned duchess, but as the glowing mother of a royal baby. So the question everyone is whispering, why? Why seal a record from 1997 at that exact moment? What was inside that document so dangerous it couldn't see daylight? And how is it tied to the fact that little Lilibet Diana's birth record seems to have vanished too? To investigators, it painted a picture too sharp to ignore, a pattern of secrecy, of vanishing files, of carefully synchronized silences, marriage certificates sealed, birth records missing, legal files restricted, and every single time, aligned with a major turning point in Meghan Markle's life. At that point, it was no longer paperwork. It was a system of erasure, a method, a woman rewriting her story before the world could read the parts she didn't want them to see. Let's rewind. The year was 1997, the so-called lost summer. Meghan was a teenager then, supposedly living the life of an ordinary California girl. But suddenly she disappeared from public sight. No school sightings, no bubbly teenage activities, just silence. And now, when you put that silence next to this sealed birth record, oh, the story changes. Because guess who stepped back into Meghan's life that same year? Her mother, Doria Ragland. Until then, Doria had been more of a shadowy presence, drifting in and out. But suddenly she became constant. School pickups, counseling sessions, weekend trips. Doria was everywhere. Why? Sources say she was handling some very private legal process downtown in Los Angeles. Witnesses recall Doria quietly walking into a courthouse, signing documents, slipping out with an envelope. What was inside? Nobody knew. Was it routine paperwork or something far more explosive? Was she protecting her daughter or protecting a newborn child that nobody could know about? One thing is clear. Doria's silence wasn't just a mother's privacy, it was strategy. Think about it. For over 2 decades, through Meghan's Hollywood climb, through her royal fairy tale wedding, through scandal after scandal, Doria barely said a word. That's not by accident, that's discipline. And if anyone knows the full truth of 1997, it's Doria Ragland, the one woman who might have looked into the eyes of a baby the world never saw. Fast forward to 2021. Meghan and Harry announced joyfully that their daughter, Lilibet Diana, was born in Santa Barbara. Cameras, headlines, adoring fans. This was supposed to be the fresh start for the couple who had left the crown behind. But when researchers dug into the records, the truth felt like ice water. The doctor said to have delivered Lilibet, she was a star physician, young, successful, running a flourishing practice in Montecito, and then, poof, weeks after Lilibet's reported birth, she suddenly resigned. No farewell message to her patients, no statement, nothing. She just vanished from her million-dollar practice. And what do you know? Her husband just so happens to run a private fertility clinic nearby. The kind of place where the rich and powerful get their delicate arrangements handled discreetly, no questions asked. And sources close to that clinic? They don't talk. Ever. Because those records are sealed tighter than Fort Knox. So tell me, was Lilibet Diana really born in that Santa Barbara hospital? Or was something else going on behind the curtains? Something arranged, polished, and then wrapped up in silence? Now here's the part that sends chills down the spine. Before anyone marries into the British monarchy, they get investigated top to bottom. Background checks so detailed they make FBI files look like shopping lists. Family ties, finances, education, past relationships, it all gets dug up. And Meghan Markle? Her background check was said to be one of the most intense ever, which means this: if there really was a sealed 1997 birth record under her name, it's impossible the palace missed it. Impossible. So that leaves 2 options. Either the royals didn't find it, unlikely, or they did and chose to stay silent. And silence is a language the monarchy speaks fluently. This is an institution built on secrets, polished smiles, and whispered scandals buried 6 feet under. If they uncovered a teenage pregnancy, they might have decided it was better to protect the shiny modern fairy tale than to risk another royal embarrassment. And Harry? Oh, poor Harry. The prince who gave up everything for love. The man who burned bridges with his own family to protect Meghan. Could it be he never even knew the full story? Did the palace keep it from him too? By now, the puzzle pieces start to fit almost too neatly. Every major chapter of Meghan's life seems to have one thing in common: a sealed door behind it, a sealed marriage license before her royal engagement, a sealed birth record before Archie, a missing record before Lilibet. To outsiders, it looks like control, like Meghan is fiercely protecting her own image. But for those who've watched closely, it feels more like survival. Every reinvention wasn't vanity, it was camouflage. Because maybe the Duchess who dazzles the cameras is the same girl who once walked through a courthouse side door in Los Angeles, carrying a secret she couldn't let the world see. And isn't that the most human thing of all? When people bury their beginnings, it's rarely because they're ashamed. It's because they're terrified of what the world would do if it knew the truth. Now here we are, 28 years later. The silence hasn't faded. If anything, it echoes louder than ever. One missing record in 2021, one sealed file from 1997, 2 stories, one pattern, and one woman standing between them all: Meghan Markle. The actress, the Duchess, the mother, and maybe the keeper of a secret older than her fame, older than her crown. Somewhere in California, there could be a young woman with a locked-away birth certificate. A woman who grew up in the shadow of a teenage girl who wanted something bigger than scandal, because secrets don't die, they don't vanish, they grow up, they mature, they become women, and sometimes when the time is right, they come home. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real Meghan Markle story. Not the glitz, not the palace, not the fame, but the choice to live one life in the spotlight and another forever hidden in the shadows. And if that shadow ever steps into the light, the world will never see Meghan Markle the same way again.